In the fiery summer of 1982 in Spain, the West German team brought to the tournament a brand of football full of reason, coldness, but no less dramatic. Under the leadership of Jupp Derwall, they rode a controversial but also extremely great journey at Espana 82. With a generation of players trained in iron discipline and the famous Mannschaft style of play, concrete defense, lightning-fast attacks, and a never-give-up spirit, they quietly advanced to the final. Although they lost to an over-the-top Italy at the Bernabéu, the image of the tanks that year, especially after the classic semi-final match against the French team, has become an unforgettable part of the memories of an entire generation of football lovers. But behind the silver medal and the tears in Madrid are very different fates. More than 40 years have passed. Time has carved different traces on their lives. Let's look back at the ups and downs of the players who made up the soul of West Germany that year. Pierre Littbarski, the improvisational note that softened the disciplined symphony of West Germany at the 1982 World Cup. At the age of 22, the boy with the famous bow legs mesmerized the audience with his circus-like dribbling, contributing 2 goals and many important assists. Littbarski brought softness, creativity, and surprise, making the West German team's playing style more unpredictable and colorful than ever. Littbarski's subsequent journey has been an exciting adventure. He was one of the first big stars to play in Japan and helped lay the foundation for the J-League. He loved Japanese culture so much that he married a Japanese woman and spent a long time living and coaching in the land of the rising sun. Littbarski also worked as a scout and coach in Germany and Australia. His life was filled with laughter and travel, unconstrained by conventional norms. Littbarski's generosity on the pitch strangely carried over into his life. He did not take the safe path, but chose new lands to explore, just as he always looked for the narrowest openings to dribble past opponents. He was a true wandering artist. Today, at the age of 64, Pierre Littbarski still has that bright smile. He is currently a brand ambassador for Wolfsburg and regularly appears at German-Japanese football exchange events. His story reminds us that football is not just about winning or losing, but also about joy and cultural connection. Manfred Kaltz arrived at the 1982 World Cup at the age of 29, carrying with him the reputation of one of the best attacking fullbacks in history. He was famous for his signature Bananenflanken, curved banana crosses that eliminated the entire opposition defense so his teammates could score. In that year's tournament, Kaltz not only defended tightly, but also acted as a dangerous drill on the right wing, playing the full 60 minutes and being one of the irreplaceable factors in West Germany's tactical scheme. Kaltz's career was tied to absolute loyalty to Hamburger SV, HSV, where he played almost his entire career and won all the glory, including the prestigious C1 Cup. However, behind the spotlight, Kaltz is an extremely introverted person. He was nicknamed Schweiger, the quiet one, because of his strangely quiet manner. After retiring, he tried his hand at being an assistant coach, but quickly realized that he was not suited to the noise of top football. Instead, he chose to work at a private football school, quietly teaching skills to children. His life is quiet, away from all scandals, reflecting the personality of a man who only wants to talk through actions. The paradox of Kaltz is that on the pitch, his crosses create beautiful, noisy curves that make the stadium explode. But off the pitch, his life is a quiet, calm line. He doesn't need acclaim, just to do what he loves. Today, at the age of 71, Manfred Kaltz still lives a peaceful life in Hamburg. He is still involved in the youth training activities of his old club, content with the role of a silent teacher who still occasionally performs the legendary banana cross to remind the next generation of the golden age. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, the shining star and leader of German football at the 1982 World Cup. Coming to the tournament as the European Golden Ball, Rummenigge, despite being tormented by injuries and only playing 473 minutes, still managed to score 5 goals. The moment he came off the bench in extra time in the semi-final against France and immediately scored, became the image that saved the entire German nation that night. Kalle was a complete striker, strong, technical, and possessing extremely sharp scoring instincts in the penalty area. After the tournament, Rummenigge's career continued at the top with Bayern Munich and Inter Milan. However, his greatest legacy lies in his managerial role. After hanging up his boots, he became the chief architect of Bayern Munich's 21st century dominance as CEO. He is also the president of the European Club Association, ECA, one of the most powerful men in world football. His life is one of luxury flights, million-dollar negotiations, and decisions that changed the game. There is an interesting evolution from Rummenigge, the player, to Rummenigge, the businessman. If, on the pitch, he is the one who finishes chances, then, at the negotiating table, he is the one who creates chances and closes deals. His German coolness and efficiency are fully demonstrated in both roles. He is the symbol of complete success. Today, at the age of 68, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge has left his position as CEO of Bayern, but remains a member of the supervisory board and an important voice at UEFA. He lives a regal life, is absolutely respected, and is a shining example for players about building a career after retirement. Uli Stielike arrived in Spain in 1982 as a Real Madrid star, one of the few Germans to have had success abroad at the time. Aged 27, he played as a libero or defensive midfielder with flair and technique. His most memorable and painful moment at the tournament was his missed penalty kick in the semi-final against France. The image of Stielike sobbing into Schumacher's shoulder became a symbol of the immense pressure players were under. Stielike's career was a long journey of dedication. He continued to be a mainstay of Real Madrid for many years, revered by Madridistas. After retiring, Stielike became a veteran coach, especially successful in Asia when leading national teams such as Korea and China. He was famous for his disciplined, but also very popular coaching style. His personal life experienced great tragedy when his son passed away from a serious illness, a pain that he had to use extraordinary willpower to overcome and continue working. There is a similarity between Stielike on the field and off the field in terms of perseverance. On the field, he is a person who never backs down, even after a fatal mistake. Off the field, he also rose from the greatest pain of a father's loss to continue living and working. The tears in 1982 turned out to be just the beginning of his emotional journey. Now 69, Uli Stielike has retired from Chinese football in 2020. He has chosen a quiet life in Spain, which he considers his second home. His journey is a testament to professionalism and the ability to bounce back strongly after events. Paul Breitner, with his trademark shaggy hair and bushy beard, was West Germany's spiritual leader in 1982. At 30, Breitner was the boss of the midfield, dictating play and scoring the only goal for Germany in the final against Italy. He is one of the few players in history to score in 2 different World Cup finals. Breitner on the pitch was a blend of skillful individual technique and sharp tactical thinking, a strong personality that no one could impose. Breitner's life off the pitch was even more fierce. In his youth, he considered himself a Maoist, carried a red book to training, and always made shocking statements about politics and society. He once shaved his beard to do a cosmetics commercial and participated in a cowboy movie. After retiring, Breitner became an astute commentator, a strategic advisor to Bayern Munich, and a weighty voice in German football. He did not hesitate to criticize his former team or juniors if they played poorly. Breitner's rebellion was consistent on and off the field. On the field, he played his own way, defying conventional tactics. Off the field, he lived his own ideals, defying social prejudice. Breitner was the epitome of an intellectual and opinionated soccer star who never accepted mediocrity. Today, at the age of 72, Paul Breitner is still healthy and continues to be a KOL in the football world. He spends time with his family and his work as a brand ambassador. His curly hair has turned white, but Breitner's arrogance and proud ego remain intact, continuing to inspire those who dare to live differently. Hans-Peter Briegel joined Espana 82 at the age of 26, nicknamed Die Waltz von der Pfalz, the Pfalz roller. Originally a decathlete, Briegel possessed unparalleled physical strength and terrifying power. The image of Briegel playing without shin pads, socks falling down to his ankles, rushing into opponents like a truck with no brakes became a nightmare for every striker. In that year's tournament, he plowed through 636 minutes, tirelessly attacking and defending, embodying the overwhelming muscular strength of the Germans. After the tournament, Briegel became a living legend of Kaiserslautern before making a shock move to Italy to play for Hellas Verona. Here, he made a miracle when helping a provincial team win the Serie A championship, an unprecedented feat. After retiring, Briegel turned to coaching, often leading small teams or modest national teams such as Albania or Bahrain. His life is associated with simplicity and pure passion for sports. He also actively participates in charity activities, especially projects to support football development in difficult areas. There is an absolute consistency in Briegel's personality, rawness, and efficiency. On the field, he does not dance, but uses strength to solve problems. In life and in his coaching career, he also chooses a straightforward, unpretentious way of working, always trying his best, even in the most difficult circumstances. Today, at 68, Hans-Peter Briegel still retains the athletic physique of a former athlete. He lives peacefully in his hometown, often appearing with a gentle smile, a complete contrast to his fierce appearance, and is revered as a living saint by fans of Verona and Kaiserslautern. Karl-Heinz Förster, the iron pincers of the West German defense at the 1982 World Cup. At 23, he was the embodiment of solidity and tenacity, tasked with locking down the most dangerous attackers of the opposition. With his relentless, aggressive, but rarely malicious style of play, Förster neutralized many top strikers throughout the tournament. In particular, his performance in the final against the tricky Italian strikers showed the mettle of a future world-class center back, a stopper his teammates could always rely on. After Espana 82, Förster's career continued to flourish. He became a legend at VfB Stuttgart before moving to France to play for Marseille, where he won a domestic double. Interestingly, despite playing as an executioner on the pitch, Förster is remembered as a martial artist. After retiring, he did not choose the coaching path, but became a prestigious player agent. He used his sharp eye as a central defender to discover and mentor young talents. Förster's personal life is quite private. He stays away from the noise of the media, enjoys a peaceful life, and focuses on football business. There is an interesting connection between Förster on the pitch and off. Protection. If on the pitch he uses his body to protect the goal, then off the pitch, he uses his experience and dedication to protect the interests of his clients. Calmness and reliability are still the guiding principles in all his actions. Today, at 66, Karl-Heinz Förster is still diligently working as a sports agent. He lives a rich and respected life, proving that a quiet defender can still build a lasting and successful legacy after hanging up his boots. Harold Tony Schumacher was a great villain at the 1982 World Cup. At 28, he was a supremely talented, but also a ferocious goalkeeper. Schumacher's tournament was overshadowed by a horrific collision with France's Patrick Battiston in the semi-final, which made him public enemy number one in the eyes of football fans around the world. But there's no denying that without Schumacher's tenacity and talent in the fateful penalty shootout, West Germany would not have made it to the final. He was the embodiment of the ruthlessness required in elite sport. After the tournament, Schumacher's life went through real upheavals. In 1987, he published his autobiography, Unpfiff, The Opening Whistle, exposing the dark corners of German football, such as doping and gambling. The book got him kicked out of the national team and the Köln club, making him an outcast. But Schumacher did not give up. He wandered to Turkey, then returned to Germany to play for Dortmund and even Bayern Munich. After retiring, he worked as a goalkeeper coach and commentator. His private life was also broken, but he remarried and found new peace. The bond between Schumacher on and off the pitch is indomitable and rebellious. On the pitch, he is not afraid of collision, not afraid of being hated as long as he keeps a clean sheet. Off the pitch, he is not afraid to speak the truth, even if it is painful, and is willing to pay the price for that honesty. He is a lone warrior, always ready to confront the world. Today, at 70, Harald Schumacher is still a familiar face on German television. He has made peace with the past, even with Battiston. Though his hair is gray and his smile is gentler, his eyes are as sharp as ever. The eyes of a man who lived and fought to the end for his identity. Horst Hrubesch, the heading beast, and West Germany's heavy-hitting attack at the 1982 World Cup. At 31, Hrubesch was renowned for his tall, rugged build and unique aerial prowess. His defining moment in the tournament, however, came not from a header, but from the decisive penalty in a thrilling shootout against France in the semi-finals. Hrubesch stepped up coolly and slotted past Gianluca Torri, sending West Germany into the final. He was the type of player who didn't need flash, just sheer efficiency. Hrubesch's career was tied to Hamburger SV, where he, Kaltz, and Magath dominated Europe. But the most interesting thing is the next chapter of his life. Hrubesch became one of the most successful youth coaches in the history of the German Football Association. He was affectionately called Uncle Horst by the young players. He guided Germany's new golden generation, like Ozil, Neuer, Hummels, to win the European U21 Championship and won the silver medal at the 2016 Olympics. In contrast to his beastly appearance in the past, Hrubesch in real life is a warm, thoughtful man who enjoys fishing to calm his mind. The contrast between Hrubesch on the field and off the field is adorable. A killer that every defender fears on the field has turned into a gentle grandfather, father, devoted to nurturing the future of national football. He has transformed the fierceness in competition into patience in education. Today, at the age of 73, Horst Hrubesch has not yet retired completely. He is still regularly asked by the German Football Association to put out fires for the national women's team or youth teams when needed. He is proof that even giants have the kindest hearts. Klaus Fischer, veteran and master of acrobatic goals at the 1982 World Cup. At the age of 32, despite not being a regular starter, Fischer still left behind one of the most beautiful moments in World Cup history. The classic bicycle kick that equalized 3-3 in extra time in the semi-final against France. It was not just a goal, but a work of art. The moment that saved the hope of the entire German nation when they were on the brink of defeat. Fischer, the king of the diving shot, was a penalty area killer with a natural instinct for scoring goals. After the tournament, Fischer continued to play consistently in the Bundesliga and holds the record as the second-best scorer of all time in this tournament, only behind Gerd Müller up to that time. After hanging up his boots, he opened a football training school named after himself, specializing in teaching finishing skills to children. Fischer's life is very quiet. He does not like the noise of showbiz. He is a symbol of loyalty, having attached most of his career and heart to Schalke 04, despite the team's many ups and downs. Fischer's connection to life was balance. On the pitch, he was best at balancing in the air to hit hook shots. Off the pitch, he maintained a perfect balance between fame and privacy, living a humble life despite his great records. Today, at the age of 74, Klaus Fischer is still healthy and directly teaches at his football school. He is still mentioned by fans every time someone performs a bicycle kick, because for Germans, it will forever be the brand Klaus Fischer. Wolfgang Dremmler, the silent but extremely important hero of the West German squad at the 1982 World Cup. Among the brilliant stars that year, Dremmler at the age of 27 was the least mentioned name, but still started all 7 matches, plowing 631 minutes for Bayern Munich and the national team. He was a versatile, hard-working, and intelligent player, always appearing at hotspots to quell attacks or support teammates in developing the ball. It was Dremmler's perseverance and silence that created the foundation for Rummenigge, or Litbarski, to shine brightly on the Spanish pitch. However, Dremmler's playing career ended quite early due to a serious knee injury. But when one door closes, another opens. Dremmler moved on to the role of scout and then director of Bayern Munich's youth training center. He was the one who played a big role in discovering and bringing talents like Bastian Schweinsteiger and Thomas Müller to the light. He worked in the dark, quietly but effectively, just like the way he played football in the past. Dremmler's life is a testament to the philosophy of good wine needs no bush. He does not need the limelight, does not need the accolades. On the field, he serves the team. After retirement, he serves the club in key logistics positions. His silent dedication is the foundation for the success of the collective. Today, at the age of 69, Wolfgang Dremmler has retired and is enjoying a comfortable life. He rarely appears in the media, but within Bayern Munich, the name Dremmler is always mentioned with respect as a devoted servant.